Greetings, Guardians of Dominion. Zeus here with another enlightening video. In this episode, we're taking a closer look at the new totem skill mechanics, and what I discovered may surprise you. Some of the skills aren't behaving exactly as described, and that has big implications for your team strategies and battle outcomes. This is one of those videos you'll want to watch carefully and share with your guildmates, because understanding how these mechanics really work can make a huge difference in your gameplay. Let's dive in and explore what's going on behind the scenes. Lately, I've been getting a wave of reports from players saying that totem skills aren't working the way they're supposed to. The numbers in the skill descriptions look great on paper, but when you take those skills into battle, something doesn't add up. So, I decided to investigate. And before I go further, I want to send a special thanks to Murmur and Ashen for pointing out some of the key issues. Their sharp observations helped guide this deep dive. This is exactly why the community is so valuable. When we share knowledge, we all get stronger. Now let's break down the skill Murmur of the Crags, a defensive powerhouse that promises to protect all allies from any kind of attack. The description sounds incredibly strong. It creates a rocky barrier that not only absorbs incoming damage but also reflects double that damage back to the attackers. On paper, it looks like a game-changing defensive move, especially with that huge number shown on the skill tooltip. At rank V, the barrier supposedly absorbs 4,142,531 damage. Impressive, right? But here's the twist. I ran tests in max training mode, fully maxed stats, ideal conditions. The enemy team launched 2 basic attacks. After just 2 hits, the barrier completely collapsed. But the most interesting part. 2 titans on the attacking side were damaged. One received nearly 2 million reflected damage, and the other took about 1.3 million. So we're looking at roughly 3.3 million total damage reflected before the barrier disappeared. Now remember, the skill says it reflects double the damage it absorbs. So if 3.3 million damage was reflected, that implies the actual amount absorbed by the wall was only around 1.65 million. That's less than half of what the tooltip promises. So what's going on here? It appears that the number shown in the skill description, 4.1 million durability, may not reflect the actual in-battle performance. Either the barrier scales down in combat based on certain factors like the enemy's stats or attack type, or the tooltip value is simply misleading. But what's clear is this: the real-world durability of the wall seems to be closer to 1.6 to 1.7 million, not the full 4.1 million stated. Next up, let's talk about Last Flash, a skill that sounds dramatic and powerful. But in practice, it raises a few questions. According to the description, when a titan is about to die, it doesn't go down quietly. Instead, it enters a state of burning rage, gaining 15% speed, becoming invulnerable to all effects, and boosting its attack power significantly. The tooltip claims this rage lasts for 17 seconds at rank V, and during that time, the titan's health won't drop below 1. After the effect ends, the titan dies. Sounds straightforward, but here's what really happens. I reviewed the battle footage frame by frame. The moment the titan enters this enraged state is clearly marked at 1:47 on the timer. The effect ends at 1:37, when the titan finally falls. That's 10 seconds, not 17. So once again, we're looking at a clear mismatch between the tooltip and the actual in-game effect. The duration is shorter by 7 full seconds, which is a huge deal in a battle where every second counts. You're expecting nearly 17 seconds of high speed, invulnerable destruction, but you only get 10. This isn't just a minor discrepancy. It can seriously affect your strategy, especially if you're relying on this last stand burst to turn the tide of a battle or secure a final hit. If you're timing support abilities, or counting on totem synergy during this moment, the shorter duration can throw everything off. So once again, we see a pattern, skill descriptions that sound amazing, but don't fully translate into battle performance. Let's move on to the next skill in question, Ice Age. Now this one sounds incredibly powerful on paper. When your opponent's base totem activates, all of their titans are frozen for 1 second, disabling their actions, and they're afflicted with fragility, a debuff that boosts all damage they receive. At rank V, the tooltip states they should take 110% more damage for the next 13 seconds. That's a massive multiplier. To put it in simple numbers, if your Titan usually deals 1000 damage, Ice Age should boost that to 2100 damage, more than double. It should be a game-changing moment where the enemy melts under pressure. But once again, that's not what happens in battle. Let's take Hyperion as an example. In my tests, when Ice Age is inactive, Hyperion consistently deals 658k damage to Sigurd. So, when Ice Age triggers and fragility is applied, we'd expect that number to jump significantly, ideally somewhere around 1.3 million. But what actually happened? With Ice Age active, and you can clearly see the broken shield icon on top of Sigurd, which confirms the fragility status is applied, Hyperion's damage only rises slightly to 723k. That's not 110% more. That's not even close. So where's the missing damage? Is Sigurd somehow ignoring fragility? Is the tooltip wrong again? Or is there another hidden mechanic reducing incoming damage that's not disclosed in the skill description? Whatever the cause, it's clear that the skill is not delivering the effect it promises. The tooltip sells a devastating debuff, a perfect window for high burst damage, but in reality, the numbers barely move. Now, I'm not going to go through every single totem skill in detail. I think by now, the pattern is clear. These new mechanics are not working as intended. And that's incredibly frustrating. Not just as a player, but as a content creator who spends hours testing, recording, analyzing, all to give you accurate and reliable information. At this point, it feels like those hours were wasted. If you've seen my videos on Fire Totem Fusion and Water Totem Fusion, let me be clear, those guides were created based on what the game told us in the descriptions. But now, we know, the actual performance of the skills doesn't match what's written. So the strategies, the conclusions, and the advice in those videos may no longer reflect reality. The biggest issue here is uncertainty. I can't tell if the problem is with the mechanics themselves or the descriptions. Are the skills broken? Or are the tooltips just misleading? Until the developers fix these inconsistencies, I can't confidently move forward with detailed testing on the rest of the totem skills. When those fixes come, I'll rerun all the tests from scratch, and this time, I'll make sure the footage and the results line up with what the game actually does. Because you deserve content you can trust, not just flashy numbers that don't deliver. So, to sum it all up, what did we uncover today? We tested Murmur of the Crags, Last Flash, and Ice Age, and in all three cases, the skill descriptions did not match what actually happened in battle. Whether it's inflated barrier values, shorter effect durations, or missing damage multipliers, one thing is clear, something isn't working the way it should. Now I want to hear from you. Have you noticed similar inconsistencies? Are there other skills you've tested that don't perform as described? Let's turn the comments into a real feedback thread. Your insights matter, and they help all of us improve. If this video helped clarify things, drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more no-nonsense testing and guides, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates, especially when these skills get fixed and we dive back in. And remember, even when the numbers lie, your experience and critical thinking make all the difference. Stay curious, stay informed, and above all, salute and friendship, guardians of Dominion.